What up, YouTube reptile lovers? Man, do we have a treat today? Okay, we got the legendary, okay, JT on the left here. Of course, we got Alex and Big Head Elijah, always here, of course. But it actually took us a minute to get this video started because we're kind of blown away by all the beautiful animals JT has going on here. But first, we want to go ahead and welcome JT in Las Vegas here.
I'm loving it.
He is now a new resident here, of course, so we're going to be spending a lot of time with JT, of course.
You guys
So,
haven't seen the adults yet.
No, man, see, here you go, already, here you go. But JT's going to give us a little tour through his wonderful collection. I was actually thinking this man had like 5 or 6, but I'm like blown away about everything he has in here right now.
Yeah.
So without further ado, JT, what's up? What you got going on?
So the first thing, guys, this is a species I always wanted to work with. I mean, you guys probably know I'm a retic guy. It's mainly what I do. But I recently got a pair of Borneo genetic stripes, and I have absolutely fallen in love with these guys. I used to be really into the venomous stuff, and this reminds me so much of a gaboon viper, and the way they act, and they get a really bad rep, but honestly, if you approach them right, act confident around them, don't approach them from above, they can be absolute puppy dogs. The beautiful chrome on these guys, absolutely beautiful.
I'm like blown away by all these crazy colors this guy has going on here.
So she should be breeding for me next year or later this year. I'm pretty patient with these guys. I don't feed them too heavily. Very slow metabolism, but
nice. I know over here, Elijah and Alex, what are you guys having? What are you guys holding on to over here?
All right, I don't remember that well, so you're gonna have to say it again.
This is a project I have not revealed online before, so this will be the reveal for these guys.
Uh-oh.
Blue Hypo project, always been one of my favorite things since I was working for Bob Clark. And here we have a platinum genetic stripe Het Blue Hypo Pos Het White Albino, and a platinum genetic stripe. Now we weren't 100% sure she was Het Blue Hypo, but as she's grown, she's actually developed these just gorgeous blue lines through her and on the other side, so I'm starting to think she's going to prove. Definitely breeding is going to absolutely decide. But she looks more how a traditional platinum genetic stripe will look, and you can see with that male, the speckled lines through him. This guy's going to make some absolute gorgeous babies. So about 2 years away, 1.5 years away from some, hopefully world's first then platinum genetic stripe blue hypos.
Did you guys hear all of that? Man.
Triple recessive, so your odds are pretty out there.
Oh my goodness. Let's get a close up of her beautiful face. Wow.
These are crazy, man.
Yes.
Yeah, she's personally, I've always wanted a platinum stripe, and I just waited till I made one. She was working.
You can see the blues on the side.
Yeah.
The real deal.
That's just crazy to me. Those white sides.
And those actually weren't there at all when she was born, and it's something that's been spreading and spreading as she's gotten older.
Wow.
So as an adult, I'm really hoping there's a connected blue stripe going completely down her side. You guys will be able to see.
Crazy. Wow. There it is, you guys.
We'll show you guys something for
Yes,
anyone
what
that's
else?
super works.
Uh-oh, yes. Show us everything. JT, why are you playing with us? Okay. I want to see everything.
So this girl right here, she's not my friendliest snake in the world, but this is a 50% Calatoa. That is, she's pos het anthrax, but definitely there's 2 from that clutch I held back that absolutely, I've seen a lot of anthraxes working for Prehistoric, and the hets are something you can absolutely see. If you take a look at her eyes, it's kind of hard to see, but she's got gray eyes. Now a platinum should actually have red eyes or orange eyes, but one of the giveaways when they're het anthrax is that they actually are born with gray eyes, or an albino to be completely translucent. So that's something, a little secret for you guys at home if you ever need to pick out a pos het. So if she wasn't het anthrax, she'd have solid orange eyes, but being a het, she has gray. And then she comes from my F1 Calatoa stock. Her dad was only about 5.5 feet. Mom was 8 feet. It's a project I've been working on for a really, really long time.
Nice.
So really excited, hopefully in 2 years to see the fruition of this.
Nice.
Oh yeah. You can actually see the first part looks like a visual anthrax.
Yeah, the little granite back pattern on her.
Yeah.
Wow. Crazy. Wow. Y'all over here having good old fun with these hypos over here.
Don't jinx yourself, my friend. That's how they always get you. They hear you talk about, oh, they're not biting you.
And this is actually, so this is one.
Look at
You guys
this
are
guy. Look at this guy.
You guys can see what just regular het blue hypo looks like. So this girl's also pos het genetic stripe. Judging from her tail, I've seen a lot of het stripes over the year. I'm gonna absolutely bet she's a double het. And then she's also pos het white, which is very challenging to pick out, especially with the other 2 genes. But out of her clutch, she was the one that most looked like she's gonna prove out to be a triple het.
Dope. Some fire right here. This is fire.
But her pattern on her neck, this is one of the dead giveaways of het blue hypo I've seen over all the different years. So
Yeah, you can definitely tell she
Yeah.
got something going on.
yeah, blue
Definitely.
hypo. I mean, it's really interesting. It's even more visual than a titanium.
Blue hypo.
So it almost functions like it's an incomplete dominant compared to a recessive, but really, really cool gene.
Nice. Wow. Look at this, guys. God, look at this. Damn, I feel like I need to step my game up.
For those of you guys who are into ball pythons, it's kind of like crown jewel ball python right here.
Lord have mercy. What is this?
So this one, I'm still kind of picking it out. It looks like it's going to be genetically a black pastel, but it's a paradox. It's from a banana black pastel champagne that I bred to a pastel. So champagne makes a lot of weird stuff, but this thing came out absolutely crazy.
Oh my goodness. Look at this. Wow.
It's really interesting because I thought this particular egg was dead. The whole clutch was kind of weird. And yeah, it's even got a white spot on the nose. Reminds me of a pied
Yes, it
retic. Yeah.
Wow. This is crazy.
Oh, man. I hate it when they look dead, like when they're in eggs and all
Oh
that
yeah.
stuff.
It was like this egg, had I not been through this before, would have absolutely thrown out.
Damn. So that's like the good old Lucky right here.
Yeah, this was the smallest ball python 2 I've ever hatched out. This guy hatched out at about 16 grams.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Wow.
It was, the egg had shriveled up. I didn't think it was, I thought the egg was dead, and then sure enough, this guy came out.
That's a heart attack right
Yeah.
there.
Looking back on that now, it's like, oh boy.
Insane. Wow.
Now, working at Prehistoric Pets, obviously, titanium has always been kind of special to my heart.
Yeah.
This is a Phantom Tiger het titanium or citron that's also pos het white albino. But due to comparing to every other baby, when you have a clutch that's entirely pos het albino, you can kind of pick out which ones are because they always will be a little bit tad brighter. So,
Dope.
but this girl, because of her genetics, she should have some very strong genes, which should help with the little bit of problems we're seeing with cows. So I'm hoping down the road to make cows with her.
Colors on that, man. I love how it holds those stripes for so long.
Oh yeah.
Goodness.
And her brother right now, who I've been having fed a little bit more heavily over at my friend's place in Arizona, is breeding the mom to this clutch. They're completely unrelated to the parents of this, so it'll be the first generation of them breeding, and then I will separate it back out. So we're hoping to hit the first Phantom Tiger titaniums out there.
That is something else.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't even have
The one thing with titanium, it does kind of overpower everything, but the citron is just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Woo! Look at this guy. Still got the, you guys cannot let him go, can you?
Oh, did you let this go? Look at that. Dude.
Look at this guy. And this guy's not even in the retics, okay?
Nope.
He's not even in the retics.
I will not.
Oh, yeah,
I'll
this
prevail.
guy. This
I'll
guy.
stay true
Remember
to my
what he
terms.
said, Alex? Remember what he said? Sell out.
Man,
This
I'm
guy,
like,
not now. All of a sudden, now you want to
Yep,
be about
see?
me.
Look.
So this girl is an albino. I didn't breed this one. I got it from a friend of mine. It's an albino 100% double het green gray. So I've recently started falling in love with berms. I've always been a retic guy. You know, they still are personally my favorite species, but
Berms is making a comeback.
yes. I just had to have to. You know, I'm not sure if I'm going to breed these down the road, but just kind of absolutely really awesome pet. I just love the purples that are in those in that pattern. Just kind of, when I saw this girl, it was like, and I kind of like her attitude too. All my retics are too nice, to be honest. So I needed a snake that was a little bitey. People say retics are bitey, but I haven't been bit by an adult in I think 4 years now. So it's, you know, they're definitely not what people say they are.
Yeah,
they like to talk, man. You know that.
Yeah, they like to talk, so you call them on their block.
Yeah, call it pretenders. You know what else? What else you got? What else you got? Yeah, this guy. Yeah, it's a whole nother. All those damn look how pretty this thing. You can, I've never even seen this in person.
This is one of my favorite snakes I've ever made.
Oh, what you?
She's still on food a little bit.
Can I guess?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mochino Platinum Sun.
Exactly. Exactly. This is actually from my smallest mainland line. I personally have my own opinions on Super Dwarf. A lot of people disagree.
Talk about it.
So you definitely, I mean, Super Dwarf at the end of the day, it's a marketing term. You guys probably hear that a lot. Over the years, one of the things I found is that, you know, percentage, it's BS at the end of the day, because I can take a pureblood Super Dwarf male, breed it to a 19-foot female. I can sell those all day as 50% Super Dwarfs, but they're gonna get huge. They're gonna get 16 feet, 17 feet, be gigantic. This female has absolutely no Super Dwarf in her. She's 2 years old. I feed her every 6 days, now every 5. I've been kind of pushing her a little more than I like to lately. Her mom was 10 feet. It's all about the size of the mom. So localities definitely have an influence. Personally, I believe them to be a different species. Closely related, but just the breedings that we're seeing with the second generation, much closer to hybrids. And I think that second generation, we're going to see a little more unpredictability in size, which when I breed those two het anthraxes together, I'm not going to guarantee any babies are going to be small, because like hybrids, you know, when I was at Bob's and he made the second generation of the berm balls, some of the babies looked exactly like Burmese pythons and got big. Some looked exactly like balls and stay small, all within the same clutch. And I think as we breed Super Dwarfs more and more out, this is kind of what we're going to see. But if you breed us, you know, 2 small snakes together, if you have a small mom, breed it to another small snake, especially the mom, absolutely influences its size.
There it is. There it is, y'all. I don't know nothing about no Super Dwarfs, but I hope we explain it for those who are really into Super Dwarfs.
Her mom, 100% het mainland. Now she's 10 years old. I think she's about 10.5 feet right now, 11 feet. And as you guys can see, this girl, she's not maintenance fed at all, because I've been, like I said, I've been pushing her a little more heavily than I want to, because I want her to breed. She's kind of one of my favorite snakes in my collection. But
I can see why.
Yeah, yes. She was actually, she hatched out the day I was married, so she's kind of got a little special.
Yes.
She going nowhere.
Yeah. People have tried to talk me out of the snake, but I love this one. So
I feel it's definitely understand.
Oh, it's getting hard in here.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm thinking to myself, do I need a retig?
Yeah.
Just one, one good looking one.
There you go. There you go.
Man, those are crazy.
Yes.
This guy's a course in shed. But again, for ball pythons, even though ball pythons, a lot of people, you know, they say, oh, I feel like retics can't like balls. I still love ball pythons.
I love them too.
This one is a lemon blast and she pied, and he has been breeding all sorts of stuff. So I got double recessive projects going with him, triple recessives. It's really fun, because obviously retics can't have 100 adults, so ball pythons is a little more fun to be able to play with more genes. Where retics are a little more hyper focused on projects, you know, I really like, and specific looking line bred lines. Which, by the way, for those of you guys that breed retics, line breeding is everything. This girl, actually, I was keeping her in a little bit too big of a cage. she was pushing and went off food. Which for those of you guys that, you know, say small snakes need huge enclosures, not always.
Yeah.
This girl's super stressed out in a big tank. I was trying to put her in a display area, but she is absolutely one of my most beautiful fires I have. Which fire is platinum, coming from Bob. I usually call him.
I was like the only one.
Fires, but
the only one who calls them fires is Bob.
Yeah. But she is absolutely beautiful, and one of the things, you know, with platinum or fire is that if you know, there's two different lines. You have Het Ultra and Het Lucy. The Het Lucies tend to be very bright yellow, like this one is, where the Het Ultras tend to be more of an orange. So platinum is interesting because everyone kind of calls it a codominant, where technically it's just a Het. You know, Ultra and Lucy's are actually a recessive, and then when you have ivories, that's like a lavender albino. They're allelic with each other. But technically, this is just, you know, my personal opinion, this is just a Het Lucy. But we call it platinum or fire, and they're absolutely beautiful. And if you breed a bright yellow snake, again, your line will be bright yellow. If you buy a dollar snake and work with it down the road, you're going to end up with a much dollar snake. So this is one of those lines where the parents absolutely influence what you're going to get. So this one also happens to be Het Blue Hypos.
Damn. Yeah. I was like, makes you really think, what are we doing? Like, you gotta go back to the drawing boards.
I got one more. Let me turn off the camera. I'll show you guys.
Yeah. Y'all can't see that.
This one's just kind of a cool ball python, a banana fire female. So. Bananas always interest me because the gene is tied to the sex chromosome. So if you get a female, she'll make females. If you have a male, it'll make males. So it's kind of one of those interesting genes.
Yeah.
The actual gene behind it is tied to the actual sex chromosome, which is the only instant in any animal I can think of where it's actually tied to that. So pretty cool little gene there.
It's dope with the bananas.
I know somebody that has a banana pastel pie and that's a female.
Speaking of pies.
Uh-oh, what you got going on in there?
Look at this.
Oh.
So this is a banana pied Het Orange Ghost, and it's breeding a double Het Orange Ghost pied. So I should have this year, if the odds are kind to me, Orange Ghost, banana pieds. So
Nice.
I can actually go back home now. He's done his work.
Oh.
So he is finished.
Yeah. Oh, okay. What else you got? What else you got going on? You got a lot going on.
So just some more ball pythons and metals I got going. They're two of my favorites. So. This one has a tiny paradox spot, which is interesting. Is the female that made this guy, she's thrown a paradox for me every single year. This is the only one I've held back. Fly, you know. But she's held back a paradox, the only one I haven't been talked out of. Sometimes, sorry, Cash does talk, so I do get talked out of my paradoxes, but he is one I absolutely had to hold back, and technically he's just a banana Het clown. For those of you guys that breed ball pythons, you can see how visual the Het clown is. So he's super cool looking, one of my favorite snakes. And this guy here has probably fathered more offspring for me the last season than anything else. This is a banana black pastel champagne. And this is actually the dad of that paradox you guys saw earlier.
Damn.
So he's gonna go back in and actually breed this female. It's about to ovulate right now.
Oh, snap.
Alright, she's got a little bit of dirt on her from the fiber I use. But this is an albino Het snow. So I'm hoping, you know, Het snow, anything Het axanthic with ball pythons, very easy to pick out, kind of like a Het anery retic. So I'm hoping to pick out a banana champagne black pastel that's Het albino and pick out the one that's Het snow, breed a male back to her, and the next season hit banana champagne black pastel snows.
Nice. God damn, JT. You got it going on in here. Jesus.
This makes me want to cry.
Yeah. I'm like, Jesus, you got I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
My wife does some king snakes, so I smell like snakes. This guy might try to eat me here.
King snake.
King snakes.
Ah.
Guys, don't forget
This
that.
is our male Mexican black.
Uh-oh, there you go with the Mexicans, and we just did a video on those too.
So these guys are absolutely really cool. One of the myths I always hear people, because both places I've worked have sold these. Oops, you can see you think we'll try to avoid that on camera. So when people see babies that have that have yellow spots on them, they're always like, "Oh, these aren't pure black ones." Truth is, they all get jet black. This guy had yellow spots on him when he was born, and as you guys can see, completely jet black now. So sometimes people will charge more for the babies that are solid black. Secret is they all turn jet black.
Yeah.
That's how mine hatched out. Mine hatched out with white, and then they just all turned black.
Exactly. And if you go to a show, breeders will tell you, or the black ones are more because the other ones will keep their yellow spots. They all turn black. So.
Some of them are slower than others, but they all do.
Exactly. Now this guy is probably my biggest retake I have. He's still not that bad.
How dark he
None of them are like the old days. So and this guy just shed. So this is a 50% Calatoa, and again he's going to prove to be head anthrax. So absolutely gorgeous pattern on him. So absolutely love this guy. The combination of the Calatoa lineage and the anthrax is just beautiful. So,
Wow.
again, this is a pureblood superdork male that I took to a very selectively small female. And I actually bought from a guy because he was like, hey, she's never, I sold it to him when I was working for Jay. He'd always say, hey, this female's not going to get big enough for me to breed. I bred her 6 months later. So you don't always need to have a female up to, if she has the age, they'll breed, and she's still, now she's 7 years old, and she's still super small. Whoops. And these babies so far have not gained any girth to them.
Wow. Damn.
So I used to never be a boa guy.
Oh yes, I'm about to step my game up now.
Absolutely
Since I'm seeing this in
love.
person,
So,
I was like, oh my
I'd
god.
seen photos of these and they never did it for me, but when I saw this in person, this was actually produced by a friend of mine, Cliff Williams, who does a lot of boas. This is a 33% Suriname, Sun Glow, Het Moon Glow. And this girl has caused me to just absolutely fall in love with the species.
Yes. Okay. I'm looking at this now. I have to step it up. I knew I was gonna get into more into boas, but this is ridiculous right here. This girl is gorgeous.
So what's so interesting too about boas is they have 2 different forms of anery, which everyone thought wouldn't be compatible, and it turns out if you breed them together, you actually get what's called a ghost boa, which I should have coming to me in about a month here when I drive down to Arizona. So.
Woo! Wow.
Is it hot in here?
Yeah, you got a damn sweater on. Okay. That's why you see me y'all took mine off. I'm good. Alex, you good?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Like, but y'all, that just went over your head.
Oh yeah, of course that. That of course.
Where my wife put these.
What else he got? What else he got?
So this is the guy that we call Smiley. This guy, you guys follow us on Instagram, we post this guy more than anything.
Smiley.
And if you guys see, he's got a little emoji on his head. He's literally got a smiley face on there.
I'm trying to see if we can get. Oh, there it is. A good look.
So king snakes, these guys, honestly, they get a really bad rep. If you guys see me trying to avoid getting bitten, that's just because I smell like snakes. So these guys eat snakes in the wild. If you don't smell like snakes, they're absolutely sweethearts and they come out. And unlike ball pythons, which I usually don't suggest ball pythons for first-time owners because they're a pain in the ass. When it comes to actually getting them to eat, king snakes eat anything you put in their tank. You don't have to worry about temperature. They're not prone to sickness, and they are intelligent. So I used to keep cobras, monocled cobras, and since I moved, I haven't been able to keep them. So king snakes are kind of what reminds me of monocled cobras, so, with their behavior.
Dope.
So let's see what else we got.
Dope. Yeah, what else we got? We can go non-snake too, because I see you have some other stuff going on here. We into all of this, all reptile completely. What else do you got going on? Oh, we're about to pull out, y'all.
So chameleons made me fall in love with them. I always been shows with the guy that breeds chameleons. When I saw this girl, I absolutely had to get her.
Check this out.
So she is a hybrid. If I go and look at her cards.
Got her colors.
She is a nosy bee that was bred to a 50% ambilobi, 50% nosy Fally, and 50% nosy Ankaphi. So if you guys check out Elaine Exotics, he actually bred this girl. He makes some really cool hybrid chameleons.
Jeez.
So
You guys see this?
and guys, females normally aren't as bright as males. Well, they aren't as bright as males, so you can only imagine what a male looks like.
Yeah, I've never seen a chameleon this color. Look at her little eyeballs moving everywhere.
So eventually I'm gonna have to breed this girl.
Oh my god, how old is she?
I'm honestly not sure. It's something I'll have to get back with you on.
This is crazy. Look
But
at
when
her.
I saw her, I had to get her. I was like, okay.
I see why. Look at her. Her colors is crazy. Look at
They're a little bit high maintenance. I have to spray this girl constantly. If she gets stressed at all, she doesn't eat, you know, but
Yeah.
definitely worth all the trouble.
And then when living out here in Vegas, man, it's so dry out here.
Oh yeah, so that's why I've had to up her mister to spraying even more. Automatic misters make life super easy.
Yes, sir.
Super easy.
Yes, sir.
If I had to rely on myself to spray, I don't know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Man, look at this dude's collection, man. And you and your wife maintain all of this.
We used to have a whole nother couple of rooms of adults, which we're waiting our permit now for Vegas. We got a whole bunch of cool retics on the way, and we got a whole bunch of other babies that are over in Arizona right now. Right now we have a platinum tiger anthrax posset albino breeding a tiger anthrax posset albino, which platinum clowns. It's what got me into breeding retics the first time I saw one. So it's a project I've waited a long time to do. Got a whole bunch of really, really crazy stuff. We actually, with a friend of mine, that's my partner, we have some really cool super dwarf leucistics that are coming out here soon. Leucistics are usually fatal, but there's something I think that we've added genetic wise that I think is going to help them survive. Something I've seen when I was working at Prehistoric Pets. My partner actually has a full-grown adult leucistic that's a titanium, so I think adding the citron gene is going to actually help them live.
Nice.
So it's something that's why I'm adding the citron to cows as well.
Gotcha. Now, definitely a couple questions. Now,
Yeah,
you worked
absolutely.
with, well, for one, come on this side so that everybody can see you. Come on back in. You've worked with Jay and Bob. Tell us a little bit about both.
Bob Clark, he's the guy that first got me into snakes. When I started working for him, I had a bull python at the time that I had just gotten, and I wanted to buy my first retic. And so I went over, and I was like, I'd always read articles by Bob Clark, so I actually went over to his facility, called him to buy my first one. Couldn't believe he was actually the guy selling it to me. We got to know each other. I remember because I said, oh, this is going to be the only one I buy. It was a tiger male. He said, I'll see you back in a week. A week later, I bought 2 more.
Yep.
Next week, I bought another one. He offered me a job, and he is honestly, I mean, there's a reason everyone calls him the grandfather of retics. He probably, he's forgotten more about retics than I'll ever know. And,
Shout out to Bob Clark, man.
Yeah, biggest.
Hey, come on.
Anyone that hates on him has no idea how much this guy knows.
I've always, man.
None of this stuff would be here if it wasn't for Bob. We talked today about the challenges of breeding certain species. I can't even imagine what it would be like to be breeding them without any knowledge whatsoever on temperatures or anything. He figured this out for us. Prehistoric Pets was the largest collection I ever worked with. Tim O'Reilly, definite shout out.
Shout out to Tim.
Yeah, him and Bob, best retic breeders I've ever met in my life. I hope one day to meet Kevin McCurley at Nerd. Another guy I really desperately want to meet.
Definitely.
But yeah, it was Prehistoric Pets was an experience. I got to breed that collection for a while, a large part of it. And I learned more through trial and error there than I have anywhere. So I would never keep a collection that large for a lot of reasons, but definitely a cool experience. Learned a lot from there. Definitely valuable. Very different experiences from both those places, but really, really awesome. So
Dope. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this video, but real quick, what the hell is this Velociraptor you have down there? Show us that real quick. Yeah. Go ahead and pull that thing out real quick. I want to see that. I keep looking down there.
This is a white throat. She's starting to almost look like a black throat. I'm
Oh,
not a monitor expert. Absolutely love this girl though.
check that out.
I've
y'all.
gotten her, and she's more like a dog than anything else. She's as much like a dog as the 2 dogs I have. So we have a harness for this girl. We take her out for walks. She's
a harness.
If you guys come to reptile shows, she'll be coming with us the next one we go to. So you guys will get to see her.
Wow, she is dope.
These guys eat
How big did you get?
So these guys are gonna get about 5 feet. This particular one. This girl's looking like a female, so she'll probably be around 4. Really fun to keep these guys eat all sorts of different stuff. So sometimes in the morning when I make myself eggs, or my wife makes me eggs to be accurate. She gets eggs. Very, very varied diet with these guys, which is super, super important. You do not want to overfeed them and give them too much of one thing. Biggest mistake I see people make with these guys is they feed them rat pups constantly. Rats are very high in fat, so you actually want to, I give this, my wife gives this girl about 1 rat pup once a week, once every 10 days. So there's something really important is to keep the fat off these guys. So.
Nice, dope. Any high humidity?
So these guys, no, they actually come from a desert, which is perfect since we're in Vegas. So as far as humidity, these guys are the most low maintenance ones I have. Then you need a really good hot spot, and we give this one a lot of exercise. So this is not like a snake. They need a lot. They're a lot more intelligent. Need a lot more stimulation. So
nice, because I had a tegu, and that shit was, you had to keep up the humidity on them.
Oh yeah, tegus are a lot more high, but they come from South America, where these guys come from the desert region. So
nice, beautiful. There it is, you guys. There it is.
They're from Woodlands in Africa.
Excuse me. So these guys are from Woodlands. My wife is the monitor.
All right.
I'm the snake guy. She does monitors. So Woodlands in Africa.
There it is. Wow. You see, they look cool too.
She's very interested in my rep, of course.
Alright, well there it is, you guys. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. Man, we'll be sitting here all day if we look at his entire collection. Jesus, okay.
Come back for an egg cutting. So.
Don't tell us that. Man, we're going to definitely do that. Okay.
About to come about his shoes, his socks.
Alright, you guys, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe. JT, you want to tell them your Instagram?
Sophisticated Serpents, guys. Check us out. We post all sorts of different new stuff, and we're going to have a ton of new babies this year, so stay tuned.
Dope. We're going to drop the link down below. Alex, y'all want to, and Elijah, y'all want to throw out your Instagram?
Sin City Serpents. The Spaceman. 2 E's.
There it is, you guys. And we are out, of course. Follow your boy, Golden_Constrictors with a K_. And we're going to continue looking at more of this man's snakes. So, we're out.